Today's story is from Lady Bird First Favourite Fairy Tales again, written by Amanda Lee and illustrated by Amanda Gulliver. And don't forget to look for the little ladybird on every page. Little Red Riding Hood. There once was a girl who everyone called Little Red Riding Hood. This was because she always wore a bright red cloak with a hood. It had been given to her by her dear old granny. One day, Little Red Riding Hood's mummy asked her to take a basket of cakes to her grandmother. "Poor Granny isn't feeling very well," she said. "These should make her feel much better." Little Red Riding Hood was very happy to visit her granny who lived in the woods. But her mother warned her to be careful. "Go straight to Granny's cottage along the path and don't talk to any strangers along the way." Little Red Riding Hood set off through the woods, skipping along the path. She hadn't been gone long when a big hairy wolf stepped out in front of her. "Good morning, little girl," smiled the wolf. "Where are you going on this lovely day?" Little Red Riding Hood felt scared, but she tried to be polite. "I'm taking this basket of cakes to my granny," she said. "How nice," said the wolf, his eyes gleaming. "Now tell me, where does your granny live?" So Little Red Riding Hood told the wolf where Granny's cottage was. Oh dear. Now, what Little Red Riding Hood did not know was that this was not a very nice wolf. He was a very bad wolf, and he rushed off as quickly as he could to reach the cottage first. He knocked on the door and said in a high voice, "Hello, Granny, it's Little Red Riding Hood." Of course, the old lady was delighted to hear her granddaughter and told her to come in. The cunning wolf burst in and locked poor Granny in the wardrobe. Then he dressed in her clothes, jumped in her bed, and pulled the blanket up to his chin. When the little girl arrived at the cottage, she knocked at the door. "It's Little Red Riding Hood," she called. "I brought you some cakes." "Come in, my dear," said the crafty old wolf. Little Red Riding Hood came over to the bed. She couldn't help noticing that Granny looked a little bit strange. "Granny, what big eyes you have," said Little Red Riding Hood. "All the better to see you with, my dear," said the wolf. "Oh, Granny, what big ears you have," said Little Red Riding Hood. "All the better to hear you with, my dear," said the wolf. "And Granny, what big teeth you have," said Little Red Riding Hood. "All the better to eat you with," cried the wolf, and he jumped out of bed, snapping his teeth. The wolf chased Little Red Riding Hood around the room. "Help!" she cried. Little Red Riding Hood's father, who was chopping logs nearby, heard the noise. He ran to the cottage just in time, for the wolf was about to gobble Little Red Riding Hood up. When the wolf saw the sharp axe, he ran straight into the deep dark woods and was never seen again. "Where is Granny?" cried Little Red Riding Hood. She heard a knock and opened the wardrobe. There was Granny, a bit shocked, but perfectly fine. "Oh, Granny, I'm so glad to see you," cried Little Red Riding Hood, and gave her the biggest hug ever. She hugged her father too. Then all three of them sat down to a delicious tea with cakes. The end. So how did you go? Did you find the ladybird in this picture? There she is, up on the roof. And how about this page? Did you find him? Just behind the tree. See over there? And how about here in the kitchen? See him just behind the cup with the cutlery in it. This is a funny one. See him hiding underneath the pillow? And the last one, there he is sitting on Daddy's chair.